Welcome everybody, Christina Wolf here, and this is Sunday, September 30th, and welcome to another weekly card reading and energy update. I have a lot of stuff to share, and hopefully y'all pop on and let me know if you want a card. So I'm going to give it a few minutes to see if anybody pops on, and I'm going to start my smudging. So, give it a few seconds, see if anybody comes on. Invite some people. Okay, I'll get started here in a second. Just do my little white sage smudge. So, hope everybody is well. And I have some frankincense and myrrh incense. All right, we'll get started here in a minute. So first I'm going to smudge myself. Welcome, Bethany. Yay! It's just me and you right now. I'm doing a sage smudge. How are you? Let me know how you're doing. And if you'd like a card. If so, which one? So, smudge over me, and hope all is well, and your week has gone well. Again, as I'm doing the smudge, I'm going clockwise around the body. Do you do any kind of regular smudging? Just curious if you do or not. Let me know. I literally just redid my office here, and I have my shelving set up differently, and the feng shui, all the energy is like kind of totally different to me. All right, so this week has been kind of really intense energy, and so I'm not surprised that too many people haven't hopped on, because the urge to kind of hibernate and stay in solitude. Yeah, exactly. I had a difficult week as well, and welcome if you're just popping on. Say hi. Let me know if you'd like a card. And so I wanted to kind of, I don't normally like to go back and talk about energy, but this past week, there was some astrological things that happened that make sense for what happened on the world stage, particularly here in America with the Kavanaugh hearings, the Supreme Court hearings. I don't want to go into too much detail about it, other than to talk about the energy aspects of it. And so let's just talk about where the energy is right now. So the sun's in Libra, which is all about balance, relationships, justice. Hello. The moon's in Gemini, which kind of has some fluctuations to it. Mercury is also in Libra, and that's going to, later on in the week, Mercury is going to square Pluto, which will lead to some of us having really intellectual conversations, but they might kind of get to the extreme. And it made me think of all of these political discussions that people have, which is one of the main reasons why I don't want to go into extreme detail about this Kavanaugh hearings, because I felt that for me and many people, when we start talking about the politics and things, people get very extreme and it can pull you out of alignment. And so the energy of Mercury squaring Pluto, I'm just sort of cautioning everybody, like, don't engage on Facebook. I've had to do this for myself. I literally was like, thank you, Lord, for the self-restraint that I'm showing. And I felt much better when I really chose not to engage in these political discussions, because even though you can have an opinion, you can feel like deep emotion towards whatever you think is happening. Understand that the other person, the other side, whatever thing that gives you the sense of division, they also have a sense that what they're thinking and feeling is also true and correct. And so rather than create division or pull you out of alignment, just Mercury square Pluto is just sort of reminding you, don't have these crazy conversations. The other thing, the biggest thing I think is Venus is in Scorpio. It's been in Scorpio since I think the beginning of September, but it's stationing right now, and it's going to go retrograde on the 4th, and some people say the 5th, depends on where you are in the world. And this whole feeling is that the divine feminine is making its presence known. And it's like your truth and relationships. Venus is all about relationships. Scorpio is all about your deep, dark truths, and sometimes sexual trauma. And hello, look what's going on. That's why I'm talking about these aspects, these astrological, energetic aspects of the cosmos, because so within, so without, as above, so below. And I will say, Rick Levine, the astrologer, he has this, like, it's kind of long-winded. It's like an hour long, but it's really fascinating. He talks about the energetic aspects of last week, which were, end of September, being Mars square Uranus. Mars square Uranus is the great disruptor. It's like disruptive transformation. And Mars is all about the divine masculine. So the divine masculine is having like a very disruptive transformation right now, as you can see, and some of it's not pretty. And so combine that with Venus in Scorpio, which is the divine feminine, like stationing, like, I'm not going anywhere, I'm gonna make my presence known. And I don't know, depending on where you are in the world, but like, if you look at night, Venus is the brightest star in the sky right now. So like, divine feminine is like, we got a voice, you're gonna hear us. So like, that's a lot of what's going on. Hey Kimberly, welcome. Anybody else just popped on, say hi. Let me know if y'all want a card, okay? So we're talking about the aspects of last week kind of going into this week. And a lot of it, as things play out on the world stage, again, we're just saying, stay in a state of observation, okay? There was Mars square Uranus, which is really like antagonizing kind of like basically the divine masculine's having a temper tantrum because they don't want to have to face change. And look what's happening, okay? At the same time, this aspect of Mercury squaring Pluto coming up, just be mindful like of the conversations that you get yourself involved in around this stuff. Is it going to help you evolve to a better place? To me, learning how to have self-restraint, learning how to maybe hold space for somebody to have a very oppositional opinion to me, allows me to feel like I'm growing spiritually. So, okay, Kimberly would like an oracle card. Okay, perfect. And Bethany, let me know. And then Risa, let me know if you'd like a card. I will say this, I had like a really intense week. Just maybe feeling that collective aggravation of like just Mars bumping heads with Uranus and bumping heads with Venus and Scorpio. The other thing too, Chiron cycled back into Pisces. It was in Aries and it cycled back into Pisces, which means that we're maybe a little more tender. We're thinking a little bit more about our feelings, maybe feeling a little victim-y, and I can totally attest to that myself. Okay, the other thing, Neptune is going to be, this is a fancy word, in quincunx to the sun. Okay, what does this mean? If you look at the chart, it's going to be like, I think 1/5 in connection to it. It doesn't really matter. All I know is that quincunx equals irritation. So when Neptune is in quincunx to the sun, you may feel like there's a new aspect to your life and maybe a little bit of glamour, a little bit of intrigue, but that whenever Venus goes retrograde, maybe something to do with your style, your personal way you carry yourself, maybe you cut your hair differently, gives you this feeling of being something new. So that mixed with the sun quincunx Neptune, you're going to be getting a feeling of like, I need to break out, I need to do something new and different, but it's not going to be a permanent change. So before you chop your hair off and dye it like, purple, maybe go get a wig and wear it. That's what they're saying. Like, it's not a fully permanent thing. Next thing, because if, say, you chop your hair off and dye it purple during this time, afterward it could lead to this sort of like mild identity crisis, like that, kind of lead to some sort of identity confusion. The other thing, when the energy is like really, really intense, like this Mars square Uranus and the Venus and Scorpio, the only thing I can say is clear, clear, and clear again. Keep clearing your energy. Keep clearing it. Like, sort of like shoveling the driveway while it's still snowing. It may feel like futile, but you're like, if you're not doing it, suddenly you have this 19-foot snowdrift and you're like immediately like in instant overwhelm. So detoxing your body, your mind, and your environment is going to be crucial for you over the next few weeks. Great way to start. Clean out your closet. Like, start giving away old clothes. Start getting rid of, like, pick it up, tell, do I need this? And like, go with your gut instinct. I have stuff in my garage that I haven't used in like years, but somehow I'm still holding on to it. If you're holding on to stuff for sentimental reasons, trust your gut. Don't give away everything, like, personal photos and whatnot. But if you say to a good way to maybe organize it is scan all your photos and get rid of the physical ones, or, just there's ways to make your environment more palatable to you. And so detoxing. I can't stress how much physical detox helps your mental detox, and the other way around. Your mental, a lot of people go on like these, juicing fasts and other things, but they absolutely ignore the fact that they're still allowing in toxic thoughts. the toxic thoughts, I mean, here we go with my trauma interview series, is all about healing your endocrine system, your autonomic nervous system, your ability to calm yourself. And people who are prone to ruminating, like overthinking, or depression, those sort of things, it's because we have a high tolerance for toxic thoughts. We tend, and that's something to think about, to look at, like, am I tolerating feeling bad too much? And that's what detoxing is. Like, I would say, you know, there's some people you could say, like, how did they not know that they were sick, or etc., because they've reached such a level of tolerance for feeling bad, they're not aware that that's not good for them. And in fact, feeling good may feel strange and foreign. And so the goal here is, if you're going to detox and you're at such a high state of toxicity, maybe your environment is full of people who aren't supportive of you, or you're just eating lots of processed sugary foods, and at the same time you're thinking, you know, you've been prone to negative thinking, like you have these, like, holistic way that you're being toxic, it can feel like your inner world, trying to clean that up is like trying to clean a hoarder's house, okay? So where the heck do you begin? If you're in such a state of toxicity that you don't know where to begin, I'd say start with your physical. Clean out your closet. Just cleaning out your closet, or folding up a basket of laundry, or organizing something in your physical world, can help sort of cascade the feeling of, oh, maybe I need to really, like, mentally clear myself. Then start paying attention to how you're feeling mentally, and then go into your diet. Change one thing. Take the little synthetic creamers out of your coffee. Start small. And as you, anybody who's ever done any kind of house cleaning, housekeeping, you do like a deep clean first, and then after that it just takes maintenance to, you know, or maybe once a month deep clean, and then a little bit at a time. So that first couple, you know, attempts to detox may be a little more effort, a little more like, oh, where do I begin? There's a lot here. Just keep going. And if you keep cleaning out and cleaning out and cleaning out, eventually you get a nice clean house, right? So I'm using it as an analogy for you physically as well. So let me check and see if anybody else popped on and wants a card. Let me know how you're doing. Okay, so Bethany wants an herbal card. Welcome, Michelle. Welcome, Charlotte. Let me know if you'd want a card. If Risa wants a card too. I didn't hear from anybody yet. So that said, let me see if I have anything else. I wrote some notes on this. So Mars is going to be square. Mars is in your Aquarius right now. Aquarius is like public opinion. It's really impersonal. Okay, so your public life, you may feel or seem a little more aggressive than normal, or warlike, I think is the term. It's a time for you to be really sure of who you are, though, and maybe exploit your unique nature to get ahead. That feeling of getting ahead or doing, that's a very Martian way of thinking. Okay, so just to recap, that very intense energy that we've been feeling, that kind of harsh energy, that Mars square Uranus, it's now shifted. To me, I felt like a big shift today. Like yesterday, I was just like, oh, like everything was aggravating me. Think PMS, the sense of PMS, like just it doesn't matter. I don't care why it's irritating. It just is. Maybe you're processing a lot for the collective as well. But it shifted. Some of that kind of shifted. And now Mars moved out of the square with Uranus, and it's in like midheaven right now. But it's in Aquarius, and Mars doesn't really like Aquarius. It's very airy, fairy, and impersonal. And Mars is like, it's just the two together. They don't necessarily it's kind of like wearing a set of clothes that you don't feel your best in. It's that feeling, okay? So, all right. So Risa wants an herbal card. Charlotte, what kind of card do you like, Charlotte? And then Michelle, an herbal card. Perfect. Okay. Some little tips here. Ways to detox. You can drink some tea. This is turmeric tea. It's got anti-inflammatories in it. Start at the root, okay? Your liver is the thing that detoxes your whole body. So what's the best way to do? Drink something that, a tea, something that's going to support the thing that actually detoxes you. Instead of trying to worry about the external cause, bolster the thing within you that makes you more resilient, okay? So I don't know why I felt called to tell you all that. Because there's always going to be stuff out in the world, right? But how well you are resistant to it or resilient to it is going to be the thing that makes you strong, right? So, all right, let's get started. Let me open up some sacred space here. And I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me move my little camera. I don't know if you can see way up there. See this? I know you guys see my background here, but I put in a new wind chime, my little bluebird wind chime, and she's facing east for the winged ones. Bird medicine. Oops. Let me fix this. Get crazy here moving stuff around. But I wanted you all to see that. So these are just some ways that you can also enjoy your environment. And so we're going to open up starting with the east. So the winds of the east, we welcome you in. We thank you so much for beautiful eagle, condor, bird energy. The east is the place of the winged ones. It's a void. This is the springtime of our life. This is the place where all things come from and to which all things return. The beautiful raven comes from the void and brings messages from spirit. We thank you, thank you, thank you for your beautiful fire energy, the place of the rising sun. Thank you. Aho. Now the winds of the south, spirit of snake, spirit of all of the earth creatures, the four-legged, two-legged, the creepy crawlies. We thank you so much for being summer energy, for being earth energy, for being the noontime of our life, the youth of our life, being in full bloom. Thank you for showing us how to shed old skin, spirit of snake, how to travel humbly close to Mother Earth. We thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. And to the winds of the west. Water energy, place of the setting sun, place of releasing things that are not needed. We thank you, spirit of jaguar, for showing us how to snatch up all the things we don't need and get rid of it, and to be in perfect integrity and impeccability. We thank you, spirit of whale, spirit of dolphin, spirit of mystical mermaids, all the water creatures that help us to release old things and to know our inner emotions. This is the fall of our lifetime. This is helping us to harvest the lessons from the rites of passage that we've gone through. This is where we become adults and put our lessons to good work. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now to the winds of the north. Spirit of our ancestors, spirit of the ancient ones, spirit of buffalo, caribou, elk, and of course spirit of hummingbird, lightness of being. This is air energy, this is wisdom, this is knowing within, having an internal sense of knowing. This is the winter of our lifetimes. This is the sage, the crone, father time. This is knowing what you know and going out and teaching it, becoming an elder. And this is a place where we call upon our elders to teach us things and to help us come to inner knowing. We thank you for this air energy, for going within, for being the winter of our lifetimes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, and as always, Pachamama, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, we love you so much. Thank you for being the beautiful big womb from which you cradle us in and give us life. Thank you for supporting all life. And to Father Sky, creator of all that is, we thank you for what's above the sky and the upper world and all the things that we do not know yet. We thank you for the mysteries of the universe. We thank you for star nations, for watching over us, for maybe being the place to which we come from. And maybe you're trying to talk to us, you never know. We thank you for watching over us and being a benevolent force. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to Grandmother Moon and Grandfather Sun, thank you for showing us how to mark time, how to keep with the nature, cycles of nature. We thank you, thank you, thank you for your wisdom. And of course, let's call in all our plant medicine. We thank you, Mother Earth, for giving us the plants that give us the medicine of all the herbs that we're going to hear about here, and the animal medicine. We thank you for your offerings. And I am grateful to you guys for being here in this space with me. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to shuffle the deck here. Let me know how you guys are doing. How was your week? I'm going to say mine was really difficult. It was kind of intense, especially the last few days. It came to like a crescendo for me. Let me know how you feel. And if you're just popping on and you haven't asked for a card yet, let me know. Okay. All right, it's going to be for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the energy of the week coming up. I think this is perfect, but I've set everything upside down. And the urge to turn it around. The upside down Four of Swords. Mullein is the herb. Four of Swords. The fact that that's really bothering me, that it's upside down, that's sort of indicative of sort of the energy we're going to have. Like, we're really out of sorts. I don't like this. I can't get my bearings. We've had a bit of that already, I think, in the last few days. And so just be prepared. There's going to be a little bit more. Okay, so upside down. Just bear in mind that when these are upside down, it's not necessarily the opposite, but it makes the energy of this sort of a little more difficult to, I guess, assimilate, if that makes sense. So after much disharmony, excessive thinking, and restlessness, the man has set down his sword and is taking a breather. It is time to be calm, to rest and recuperate in order to regain inner strength, reorganize thoughts, and make new plans. In astrology, they talk about malefic and benefic planets. Like Jupiter is considered a benefic. Like when you use the energy of Jupiter, it's expanding. When you use the energy of malefic planets like Saturn, it's contracting. It's not necessarily good or bad. So this is Jupiter and Libra. It's going to be kind of like bigger energy. But the thing is, one, the malefic is a little bit more difficult to navigate through than the benefic energy. Does that make sense? So what I look at it is, when the card's upside down, it means that whatever they're telling you about in the card is going to be a little bit more difficult to get through. But the energy is still there, and when you do get through it and you get the lesson or you come into alignment, it's sort of like more hard won. Like the difference between like getting an A in a subject that's easy to you and getting an A in a subject that you really struggled and had to work hard at. But like you feel maybe a greater sense of accomplishment if you had to really struggle and work through it. So that kind of is the energy with these upside down cards. So after much disharmony, excessive thinking, and restlessness, the man has set down his sword and is taking a breather. It's time to be calm, to rest and recuperate in order to regain inner strength, reorganize thoughts, and make new plans. It may be a little bit more difficult to achieve this given the current energy, but you can do it. Okay, this may be a good time to seek guidance spiritually, financially, or otherwise. This is not a time to be scattered and disorganized, because being really scattered and disorganized during this time of intense energy will be exacerbated, okay? And so you'll feel especially turned upside down. So instead, one must strive to be grounded and to understand the boundaries and forms by which one must live. So what I was saying is, okay, maybe in easier energy, you can just do it once and you're good for the week. This is the kind of energy where you're going to have to, like I said, clear, and clear again. You're going to have to, take some extra time out to really achieve this sense of staying calm and, grounded. So if there's a feeling of being repressed or restricted, it's best to look to the inner realities by which one lives to see where the self is not allowed freedom of positive expression. So the tendency to maybe lash out, to kind of look to external sources instead of like retain personal power might be big this week. So again, like me, I was really proud of myself for restraining myself from getting into it with people on Facebook over some of the stuff that's been going on. Every time I do that, I feel a feeling of power loss. So I'm not going to do it. As much as I feel angry about something, it's like, don't engage, just don't engage. And this card is sort of saying, if you do the thing that you know you're not supposed to do, you're going to especially feel the consequences of it. So if I were to engage with people on Facebook, I'm going to really feel like, I just feel like crap. I knew better, and it may blow up. People, like I said, that Mercury energy may give people a sense of really extreme reaction to stuff, and you may react very extremely. And so it's best to, when you're feeling that way, to sort of kind of keep to yourself. Any unconsciousness may be due to lack of the ability to confront the current situation. I would say usually when we're not ready or prepared to deal with something, we're going to be in denial of it. So take time out to regroup and rest, but do it in such a way that you will have greater strength and clarity to deal with the next step. So if you're going to go, if you're going to keep to yourself, you're going to restrain, you're not going to engage with people about this could be something on your personal level too. Like, I just feel like I'm butting heads with my family or partner. Venus and Scorpio highlight your relationships. So for the next, especially when we go retrograde, all of our deep fears about what could go wrong in our relationships are going to come out too. So it's a lot of intense energy, but go within. When you're feeling like, I don't know, if I just keep going, I'm going to say or do something I just will regret because I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just sort of reacting out of intense emotion right now. Go lay down, read, be quiet. Go within with the intention that I'll come back later when I'm feeling more calm and centered. It's not like you're not speaking your truth. It's just maybe not the time to speak. Okay, let it sort of percolate, or not percolate. If it's about to, you're about to blow the gasket, don't let yourself think about it too long, okay? Let yourself calm down. Find things that anchor you, that help you calm down, go within, sort of keep you from blowing your top, letting the volcano stay under earth. So spiritual properties of mullein, they can help you to take a breather after much struggle and conflict. This is a great time to take a breather, like one day at a time, one moment at a time. You're feeling really, really intense. I had several situations yesterday where I was just like, and a lot of them, this is perfect as far as Venus and Scorpio, a lot of them had to do with my child making demands upon my time and feeling very pulled in different directions. And I was getting extremely frustrated with the whole process. Like, I really wanted to be able to attend to him, but I also had other things to do. And every moment that I got irritated, I chose not to blow up at him. And that took a lot out of me. So I took several moments to like just take a deep breath and relax. And, you know, it was quite draining, I would say. Okay, I'm just checking the notes here. Okay, so Charlotte wants an oracle card. Yeah, so Risa says, difficult week. Had a day of rest yesterday and actually took time to feel my feelings. I'm feeling better. Dealing with some hard issues right now, but I'll be okay. Yeah, it's a lot of hard times for a lot of us. So just give yourself, be kind to yourself. Be gentle to yourself in this space. Mullen allows you to take a breather. It's kind of like going up the steepest grade of the mountain. You're going to stop and take a lot more breaks, okay? That's pretty much what's happening here. Medicinally, mullein has been used for coughs, hoarseness, bronchitis, phlegm, and whooping cough. The flowers are specifically sedative and anti-inflammatory. So the keywords: need to retreat and regroup, rest, create more clarity, and form. Get advice and information. I would say this is definitely the time to sort of soothe and relax yourself before you have like some crazy outburst that you're going to regret later, okay? I give myself the time to rest and recuperate, and I am open to the guidance that comes towards me. All right. Already I can see that because the cards are all set upside down, anything we're trying to do is going to feel a lot more difficult this week. But that doesn't mean it's going to be miserable. It just means we need to be more prepared for it. So let's go to Wednesday, Thursday. Eight of Wands, also upside down. Sassafras. Eight of Wands, we got some fire energy going on here. Right around the time, this is Mercury in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is like, you know, big, huge, expansive. Mercury is all about communication. He was the messenger, okay? So you might have some difficulties communicating this week, and we talked about that. Like Mercury conjunct, what was it? Mercury square Pluto. Square is like the hardest opposition, like you're fully opposed. And Pluto is the god of the underworld, okay? Which is like all the crap people don't want to hear about themselves. So you may be trying to deliver something to somebody and they don't want to hear it. Or maybe someone's trying to deliver something to you and you don't want to hear it. So just keep that in mind. So Eight of Wands, 8 staves fly swiftly toward an undefined target. The card represents the need for focused, swift, and efficient action to deal with the problems at hand. This is saying, like, you're going to have some scattered, crazy, overwhelmed feelings. And before you take any action, I highly recommend you get focused and you ground yourself before you maybe spout off and say something, because you may not be even, this is when you start throwing in the kitchen sink to your arguments. You're not saying it succinctly. You're not saying what you need to say. It's coming out extremely. The goal in sight, we are presented with a variety of diversions and problems. Perhaps this is a test of our resolve to continue the quest. The absence of a human figure on the card suggests that at such times of crises, we may temporarily lose our sense of self. What were we talking about? Mild confusion with your identity. That's Neptune quincunx the sun. You may be like reacting in a different way. You may get the sense of like, I'm just not myself this week. I don't feel like I can bring it. Or wow, me flipping out on my neighbor was really out of character. It's that sort of thing, like something you're not used to for your own self. And so this is saying you may temporarily lose a sense of self. Like, just, you know, me getting really upset and spanking my kid feels like totally against what I wanted or what I see for myself. And so you have a little bit of a moment there, okay? It may be time for quick action and clarity in communication. Be willing to express your ideas and to break through the blockages that present themselves to you. Work at establishing a greater communication between the higher sublime self and the beings and angels that guide you, for you may find greater clarity as to what is to be done next. Okay, again, that benefic or malefic energy, you're gonna have to work at staying connected. You may not be getting the easy downloads that you were having last week or the week before, whatever it is. So it's just some intense energy coming up. Okay, sassafras opens up the fifth chakra, your throat, the things you need to say. It's also when you have throat problems, your heart and your mind like are in opposition. Okay, your heart really wants to be married to this person, but your mind won't let you let go of your ego and open up to them. Whatever. Or the exact opposite. Like, I don't want to be, I'm telling everybody I'm happily married, but my heart is saying, no, this isn't the right relationship for me. That's the kind of opposition that the throat chakra has to go through. So what is your real truth? Are you walking your talk? Are these things in alignment? Is your heart and your mind in alignment? Okay. Sassafras opens up the fifth chakra and allows easier communication of ideas. It also helps you get real with yourself. Okay. It enhances the connection you have with angelic beings that watch over you. Sassafras affords you greater psychic protection against the negative effects of external harassment and attack. Hello, get off Facebook. I will tell you, just come on here, join my card reading, do the things you know are high vibe and nurturing to you, but stay away from the things you know are going to drain you, pull you out of alignment, pull you away from your true character of kindness, love, whatever it is. I'm totally going to take my own advice this week. Even if you feel like inclined to like post snarky things, or I'm talking about social media, or the urge to just say whatever to your coworker who you've been like holding back from flipping out on all week. It's that sort of thing. Always choose on the side of restraint. It will ward off or lessen the blows of conflicting forces. Okay, so the herbal essence may be used as needed, and the talisman may be worn to bring about spiritual results. It may be a good idea to meditate while taking the herb and gently ask for the guidance that you seek. Considering you may have some difficulties connecting to spirit and like kind of really getting the download, you may be feeling a little left out. Like, hey, where's the support I'm looking for? It's there. You just got to really uncover it. You know, work at clearing out distractions, clearing out the energetic clutter in your mind. Have a go-to meditation you do. Maybe it's something you do every day. A real quick like mudra, like a mudra is a hand posture that maybe helps you remember to, you know, stay in energetic alignment. Something like that, something simple. Okay, keywords, lots of ideas coming in at once. Communication needed, rapid developments, new ideas about philosophy on life, making fast decisions. I respond to challenges with decisive clarity and vigor. Your decisiveness and your vigor may get challenged this week because of the malefic energy going on. Just remember, you can do it. You just have to support yourself more. Okay, I'm going to take a little sip of water here. Next, Four of Pentacles. Again, upside down. We've got some earth energy going on. So we already had air energy, fire energy. Now we got some earth energy. Four of Pentacles. Okay. Cascara bark. Cascara, if you're not familiar with Cascara sagrada, is often used in protection spells. Okay. I can tell you right now, this is talking about grounding yourself and being resilient. Okay. A woman sits on a neat and orderly checkerboard floor. By the way, this is Sun in Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is that malefic energy. The Sun is benefic. It's, you know, gives us life. Okay. So maybe they're canceling each other out. So if you have some negative energy this week and you're doing something like meditating, relaxing, canceling your stuff that you would have normally done, but it's just not going to give you the feeling you wanted it to give you this week. You always go to dance on Friday nights, you do salsa dancing, but going there is just going to aggravate you because you're around lots of people instead of making you feel happy and rejuvenated. Cancel it. That's what it's talking about, that combination of canceling out the malefic energy with, benefic support. A woman sits on a neat and orderly checkerboard floor. Her head is covered with a close-fitting scarf, and she has a tight look about her. She has reached a place within herself where she feels secure and centered. She understands structure and order, and will use these tools to actualize her visions. This is saying rely on things that you already know help support you. Like, for example, for me, I know journeying is very helpful to me. I know that not being on my phone all the time is very helpful to me. I know in order to start feeling better, I have to cut out dairy. So these are all things that I know are structures that I put in place that are supportive of me. So it's telling you, kind of call upon all the things you know to help you be more resilient. So she's able to reserve and direct her power and will defend her position when necessary. Have some boundaries. People may be challenging you. You can turn off your phone. Don't even answer it. If you know that you needed peace and quiet, just shut it off. Put it on Do Not Disturb. I know on iPhones you have the option like, I didn't want to turn my phone off completely if it was like my kids calling. So I have it on Do Not Disturb, where if they call me twice in a row, they can get a hold of me if it's an absolute emergency. You know what you can do to set up boundaries to give yourself what you need. The woman must watch that she doesn't get so tight that she becomes fixated and stubborn. If she begins to think that her power comes from the status she holds or from her possessions, then she will begin to function in a fearful way and forget that the true power is divine spirit flowing through her. This is saying pay attention to like physical things that are stressing you out, that actually maybe in a week or two, is this going to matter? Like you're flipping out that the kids didn't hurry up and get in the car on time, and like things that you're maybe assigning to temporary things aren't really going to make a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Don't give away your power for those sort of things this week. Let it go. Like, it aggravates you that the kids leave the towels on the floor. Okay, whatever. Move on. This week it's just going to stress you out to talk about that with them, get into it with them. Like, you know what you need to do to not be so stubborn. Am I just being an ass right now? Like I know that feeling when I know I'm just being fussy and carrying on. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna carry on because I know I feel better when I don't get fixated on things. In the background is an outhouse, which indicates that she may become spiritually constipated and may need to take a spiritual laxative to loosen up a bit. Well, that's definitely self-explanatory. Immobility and clinging to old things that are no longer needed are two areas which need watching. Again, the best way I know to start this process is to physically clean out your closet, physically clean up your environment. Maybe you left the dishes in the sink for a day or two, or 3 or 4, or whatever. It's been a tough week. Meditate while you're doing the dishes. You'll feel a lot better when you start looking around. Oh, look, my environment is clean. This is helping my mental space get clean. So on the other hand, she must take care not to let things pass through without absorbing their full intent and meaning. That's self-explanatory. Cascara is one of those that stimulates the secretions of the entire digestive system, including the liver, gallbladder, stomach, and pancreas. It's one of the safest tonic laxative herbs known and can be used on a daily basis without forming a habit. If you're feeling particularly jammed up, like spiritually, not able to connect spirit, lots of debris, energetic debris, call on Cascara Sagrada or Cascara bark to help you break that up, break up the constipation, basically. Let's see, stability and security, creating structure and order, need to loosen up, spiritual constipation, letting go of the old and allowing space for the new. I know it seems sort of contraindicated to create structure and then get loose, but it's basically saying do the things that help you, you need to do, or do set up routines and things that support you, to help you relax, to help you create space to do this relaxation work. So in other words, every Friday I give myself a me date, and that's when I go and take my bath and I meditate and whatever. I'm looking forward to that because this will keep me from blowing up today at my coworker. It's just an example. But structure self-supporting things into your life. Knight of Wands. Ooh, right side up. Aconite. Aconite is actually a known poison. Knight of Wands, also some fire energy. Okay. Knight of Wands. Air of fire. The element of air with fire. Well, hello, what happens when you add air to fire? When you add oxygen to fire, it just takes off, okay? So the Knight of Wands represents the expanding and volatilizing aspect of fire. Again, that feeling of like aggravation, the urge to blow up, the volcano about to, erupt. That's kind of going to be the energy this week. He's an armored, hot-blooded warrior ready to take on a cause vigorously. If a woman draws the card, the Knight of Wands would be most like the character Brunhilde in Wagner's Ring Cycle. An enthusiastic female warrior whose exuberant personality tends to align with and champion various causes. And it's ironic that this came up, the way I picked it up was upright, which means that you're going to feel this energy very easily this week. This igniting, like easily want to blow up kind of irritated energy. The Knight of Wands is bold and unafraid to act quickly and with great courage. You may be sort of aggressive, actually. He must guard against becoming too macho and insensitive. Such an individual does best when he directs his competitive spirit to overcoming personal shortcomings and limitations rather than trying to dominate and control others who are of a more yielding nature. This may also be some collective energy. When I say divine masculine, toxic masculinity, or patriarchy, I absolutely am not talking against, like, all men. A lot of guys these days, I'm surrounded by a lot of guys at work and at home, and when a lot of women are reluctant to talk about what's going on in the collective because they're afraid of alienating the men in their lives. Well, we're not talking about the divine masculine is protective. It gives you security. It gives you a sense of I'm going to handle this for you. This Knight of Wands thing is talking about a little bit of that toxic masculinity, a little bit of that forceful, I'm going to do what I want regardless of what's good for anybody else kind of thing. So if you're getting that urge, we all have masculine and feminine energy. Anytime we're like, screw you, I'm cutting in traffic, that's some of that forceful, I'm going to do what I want energy. Yielding to somebody, this is talking about, be careful to, not try to dominate and control others who are of a more yielding nature. A very simple, basic example is traffic. Are you going to have road rage this week? Probably, because you're feeling this tense energy. But when you actually take the path, less taken and yield and allow people in, you'll see, like we had an example last night. We're in the drive-thru at McDonald's. Don't shame us, we were eating McDonald's. But they have those double drive-through lines, and these two cars behind us got in a honking match because the other one felt that they should go first, and we were like, the scarcity here is just amazing. Like, it's just McDonald's, but it's that sort of kind of forceful energy that's kind of going on right now. Hey, I'm going to get mine kind of feeling. And so understand you're human. You may feel that too. But at the same time, if someone else is doing that, just let them go ahead of you. Just better to avoid getting into it. It would be better for his life of expression, however, if he could learn this sooner rather than later, that if he is at all intelligent, he will learn for himself the power of simplicity of yielding. Choose your battles, right? Aconite is an herb that may be carried as a talisman to maximize potential and overcome indifference and apathy. Remember, this is a good time to remember, hey, look, we're all in this together. You're not, that person's not opposite of you or whatever. When we feel like we're really in divisive energy, notice that, pull back, and let's see if we can find a way to connect them and look at them as like also human, not just the person who's opposing me in my opinions or etc. or cutting me off. Hey, I'm going to try to see them as human just like me, okay? Keywords: determination, dominance, conquest, zeal, willful intention, crusader. That's lots of us. We're all going to feel a lot of that energy right now. So, affirmation: however it may manifest, I have universal power at my command, and I can and do make a difference. All right, so that was the herbal cards. I've got three people who requested herbal cards, so I'm going to pull those cards for those guys. Okay, this one's for Arisa. This one's for Bethany. And this one's for Michelle. Okay. All right. Three of Pentacles. Of course, they're all upside down still. So just remember, it might be a little bit difficult for all of us this week. Okay. Not impossible. Just maybe requires a little more effort to achieve our goals, whatever they may be. So, Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, some earth energy. This one is for Arisa, like I said. Okay. Gentian. Mars in Capricorn. Okay, Mars, we've been talking about Mars. You're going to feel some of this energy a lot this week. So it's really important for you. This is giving you earth energy. You got to stay really grounded this week. Mars in Capricorn. Capricorn, before they discovered Saturn, was ruled by Mars. So it likes to be in Capricorn. So this is very stabilizing energy for you, okay? The Master Gardener is working with the earth. His fertile fields are all around him. During the waning moon, he harvests the fruits of his labor. His hat forms the infinity sign. He is in tune with the cycles of nature. I'm getting a distinct feeling like you need to get out, take walks in nature. That's going to be soothing to you. That's going to help ground you this week. It's going to give you some structure, because Capricorn is all about structure. Yes, earth energy is very nurturing. On his pocket is the Greek letter theta. Body, mind, and spirit are working in harmony to create a dynamic power. The gardener has ideals, but he is also a practical man and works with the reality at hand. He is able to handle the mundane and sees it as part of the steps needed to create his vision. He cooperates with nature and with his coworkers. He can persevere through obstacles and knows that the creative forces work through him. So remember, if it's upside down, all of these things that you're trying to achieve, just remember, these are the things that you're going to need to sort of dig a little to uncover this week. You might have to dig a little to persevere through obstacles. You might have to dig a little to cooperate with nature. You might, and your coworkers. His fiery, earthy nature must harmonize so that he can be not only exuberant but grounded, focused, and patient as well. So these are all the things you're aspiring to this week. You may find the forces of nature working a bit against you, but they're working against all of us right now. I don't want to say against, but just it's like a heavier current. Okay, he must work at assimilating more skills and at cultivating deeper understanding as a foundation for further developments of his talents. He knows that he will eventually reap what he sows. So this week is going to be some character building for all of us, I think, but this is saying for you, you're eventually going to get a lot out of whatever work you do this week. Maybe you'll learn, like, hey, I just sort of evolved and expanded into this new energetic space where I know how to bite my tongue with my coworkers, and it feels a lot better when I do that. These are the sort of things that they're talking about. Okay, this herb's cool and bitter energy will help to release excess fires, which in turn will allow frustrations and irritations to be released. This is saying really helping you with like cooling down of that irritation this week. So maybe this whole week for you, this energy is helping you learn this process of when I get irritated, I have these skills to draw from to help me relax and calm down and cool down that temper or whatever it is. So gentian is very bitter tonic for the digestion, liver, and gallbladder. Its most common use is as a digestive bitter with alcohol, taken in small doses before meals. It is also useful in treating hepatitis, jaundice, and most liver disorders. Well, all of those have to do with detoxing you. And the best way to cool yourself down from any deep, toxins is to support your liver and your own ability to get rid of irritations in your life. So, I'll update here. Okay. Keywords: acknowledging one's mastery of skills, harvesting the fruits of the labor, being focused and grounded, seeing one's creativity in everyday life, releasing irritations and frustrations, reaping what one sows, willingness to face the realities at hand. Affirmation is: with consciousness and care, I plant the seeds of my life and reap the results of my actions. The challenges and disappointments of my life can be a source of strength and inner growth. There we go. That's exactly what I was saying. Whatever you're learning is going to be helpful to you. Yes, learning to bite your tongue. Yes, me too. But I feel a lot more mature when I do it, and I feel a lot better about myself when I do it. So there is that element that's really helpful. Okay, that one was for Risa. Take a little sip of water. This next one's for Bethany. Ooh, Ten of Swords. Yeah, you were saying you had some difficult energy. Okay, Ten of Swords. Sun in Gemini. The ice and snow are pierced by 10 swords dripping with blood. From too much thinking and worrying, a feeling of paralysis and emptiness has arisen. I'm going to tell you right now, this is saying don't overthink this week. It's going to harm you if you do that. Okay, one is not sure how to respond to an aspect of life. These thoughts and feelings can create the very thing that is most resisted. So doing the thing that you know will bring about the thing you don't want, like the overthinking of it, let's not do that. Even when things look bleak and there's sadness, darkness, and depression, it is time to embrace faith and trust and to know that this is the end of an old cycle and a new cycle will soon begin. Very important to remember that, okay? It's time to accept things as they are. Through this acceptance, the light at the end of the tunnel will be seen. Might be some hard energy this week, but at the end of it, you're going to come out so much better for experiencing it. Using visualization, create new horizons for yourself. For some reason, the word better isn't the right word. I think you'll come out stronger or more knowledgeable of yourself because of it, okay? So see yourself rising up and walking a new path with sure steps and a peaceful heart. If there's a lot of criticism, misunderstandings, and disappointments, try to remain as focused as possible and to see what opportunities are opening for you. Patience is a must. An example, like if you have a really difficult week where certain people are extremely draining on you, you're going to realize, I don't need to be around that person anymore. And now my life is a lot more peaceful because I came to that conclusion. But in the process of learning that lesson, it really felt terrible. Like, oh, this is bad, or I feel guilty. I don't want to be around this person right now, or whatever story it was. At the end, the knowledge, like, hey, this is a boundary I need to put up that I wasn't aware I needed to, will benefit you later, okay? Ephedra is the herb associated with Ten of Swords. Ephedra, we all know, is like a diet pill. An herbal essence of ephedra can be safely employed to help increase the body's ability to take in the breath, thus allowing one to take in greater life force. Just as the wind clears the air and sweeps away the old, this cleansing and clearing breath will also help to clear the mind and make way for fresh thoughts. Really focus on how to keep your mind clear this week. Thought interruption, distraction, walks in the woods, what things you know keep you from ruminating. If you know something's going to keep you in a ruminating state, interrupt yourself right away. Practice ways of self-preservation. So The keywords: death of an old cycle, feeling barren, need to breathe in life more deeply, have faith in the wisdom of the universe. The affirmation is: I inhale and feel the cleansing energy filling me. I exhale and release the old. All right. That was for Bethany. And then this one's for Michelle. Three of Cups. Trillium. I don't think I've ever worked with Trillium before. I haven't had too much water energy yet this reading. Okay, Three of Cups. Okay, Mercury in Cancer. Okay, Mercury again, that messenger, can sometimes be a bit of a trickster. Cancer, the crab, often sensitive, okay? We got some trickster communication and the ability to be sensitive this week, okay? In a wooded clearing, we behold a mythic scene. Three muses dance in life-affirming joy. Here, life celebrates itself. There can be no greater tribute to life, no greater reason for living than the joy of pure being. If the purpose of life is the attainment of mystical God awareness, such awareness comes in closest moments of unconditional love, self-acceptance, peace, and the pure joy and happiness depicted on this card. So this is saying these are the things that you're probably going to try to aspire to, that you may have some opposition, energetic opposition to achieving this week. The artist symbolized by the brunette in purple celebrates the joy of others. The golden-haired one in red salutes the dance of life, and the brown-haired lady honors the glory and power inherent in the growth of the herb. As the herb seems to arise spontaneously out of love in the loneliness of the dark woods, we are, through grace, given the inspiration of joyous affirmation. Such an awareness is never earned through conscious seeking or determination, because it is in the very spontaneity of the moment that all possibilities arise. Trillium represents that quality within each of us which imparts value in life. There may be some worthiness issues this week. There are things about you that only you can bring to this world, and this is telling you to look for those things. And that's what makes you that's the thing that helps you enter into that pure joy of being, okay? It symbolizes all that we are inclined to nurture and protect. It fosters within us our ability to give birth to spontaneous joy with life. So keywords: joy, celebration, friendship, dance of life, guard against taking things too seriously. So this week, there's some crazy energy, and you're saying, well, you know what? The thing that I want to protect and make important to me and sacred to me is joy, friendship, celebration, dance of life. Anything that's going to interfere in that or make it difficult, I'm aware of, and I'm going to get rid of it. So with joy, I embrace and welcome all that I have fostered and created. So that's for Michelle. All right, and that concludes the herbal cards. Set those aside. And there's one animal card I'm going to draw for Bridget. She's not on here today. Draw this for Bridget. All right. So Bridget's here in spirit. All right. We got the moose. Moose, help me to honor the gifts I can give and recognize my worthiness long as I live. It's all about self-esteem. And it's the number 11 card, which I think is a sacred number. Moose is found in the north of the medicine wheel, as is buffalo. North represents the place of wisdom. Self-esteem is the medicine of Moose because it represents the power of recognizing that wisdom has been used in a situation and that recognition or a pat on the back is deserved. So I know you're like helping your daughter this week. Maybe it's recognizing that, you know, you did well raising your child, and now give yourself a pat on the back. She's moving out into the world. So moose is the largest member of the deer family and has great strength. The call of the male moose is an awesome thing to hear on a musky spring night. His pride in his maleness and his desire to share his seed with a moose cow are displays of his sense of self-esteem. The bellow of a male moose can be viewed as a positive force since it represents his willingness to tell the world about his feelings. This tell the world trait contains a joyfulness which only comes with a sense of accomplishment. There is no greater joy than a job well done. This trait is therefore not a seeking of approval, but rather an enjoyment of sharing because of the spontaneous explosion of joy that comes from the deepest part of one's being. So like really allow yourself to appreciate the work that you've done, okay? Celebrate. Allow yourself to do some celebration, be in ceremony about this, okay? The wisdom woven through the scenario is that creation constantly brings forth new ideas and further creation. Moose is telling us that joy should be shouted with pride. Like, be proud of yourself for the things that you've been doing. The wisdom in doing the shouting is that the joy is catching. In a sense, the bellowing is a way for all of us to lighten and give ourselves or each other a well done. Moose medicine people have the ability to know when to use the gentleness of deer and when to activate the stampede of buffalo. They understand the balance between giving orders to get things done and having a willingness to do things themselves. The wisdom of moose medicine is akin to the grandfather warrior who has long since put away his war paint and is now advising the young bucks to cool their blood. Like, you just have a lot of experience, so you know. You've been there, you've done that, you have the wisdom to say, you know what you know. Moose medicine is often found in elders who have walked the good red road and have many things in their earth walk. Their joy lies in being the teachers of the children and in being the first ones to give encouragement. This is not to say that moose medicine people do not use their wisdom to warn as well as to give praise, because they do. Moose medicine people know what to say, when to say it, and to whom. You may have the gift of imparting some difficult wisdom to some people in just the right way, and they listen to you because they respect you. Okay? The elders are honored in tribal law for their gifts of wisdom, for their teaching abilities, and for the calmness they impart in the council. If you are wise beyond your years and have the gift of moose medicine, use this gift to encourage others to learn and grow. There are many facets to the wisdom of moose medicine. If you've chosen the moose card and you have reason to feel good about something you've accomplished on your journey, this may be a habit you've broken, a completion of some sort, an insight on a goal, a new sense of self that you fought hard to earn. Give yourself credit for those things. It is a time of feeling harmonious pride and of recognizing those who aid you in the process. One good exercise in moose medicine is to write down things that you can love about yourself and your progress in life. Then apply these same things to friends, family, co-workers, and life. Don't forget to share the findings with others. They need the encouragement as much as you do. A really great exercise is, I'm proud of myself for, and you write down all the things that you've accomplished in your life. And you're like, dang, after a while I realized I did a lot. I did that for New Year's Eve, a New Year's Eve kind of end of year thing, and I didn't, I was feeling like, oh, I didn't accomplish much this year, but then when I did it, I was like, wow, like, you know what? I do have a right to feel proud of myself. I did a lot of crap this year that I just completely forgot about. And so this is telling you, recognize the things that you've done and done well and give yourself credit for them and speak about it. Share your joy. Okay, that is for Bridget. And then I've got 2 oracle cards. We're going to put the animal medicine cards away. By the way, I have, I think in a week or 2, I'll be getting a new set of animal spirit cards. It's an oracle deck, also from Colette Baron-Reid. This is the one she did with Alberto Lialdo and Marcelo Lobos, but she has her own animal spirit one that will be released, I think, October 8th, and I pre-ordered it, so I'll be excited to use that one as well. because a lot of us really like these oracle cards, and I think it combines the oracle deck with the animal medicine. So I'm excited to see that. So thank you, Spirit, for having all these folks stay with me this long. And let's see how these ones do. They've been kind of jumpy. This is going to be for Kimberly and Charlotte. Oh my goodness. Kimberly and Charlotte. It's for Kimberly, the Gatherer. Okay, before we cultivated grains, we collected the wild bounty of nature. The Gatherer finds abundant seeds, nuts, berries, and wild greens where the ordinary person sees only barren soil. The Gatherer is the provider, the forager, and the gardener who collects roots and vegetables for the long winter when game is scarce. She does not hoard, trusting the bounty around her. So the invitation here for you is to look at the resources you already have close at hand. This is a time of abundance. Everything around you is ripe and ready for harvest, especially when we take a lot for granted. Maybe stuff this week or last week maybe brought to your attention maybe a little bit of scarcity that allowed you to really see the abundance you have this week. Okay, so banish the notions of scarcity that have limited your choices and colored your destiny. Pack your food for the winter and start with a low-hanging fruit that is all around you. So this week is kind of helping you to look at maybe other areas are showing you scarcity out there in the world, maybe the world stage or whatever, but look in your life where you have abundance, where you have insulation from that scarcity, where you have a sense of you've created this abundance in your life, okay? And I like that she does not hoard, trusting the bounty around her. Like, and there's very much a feeling of faith and surrender to the divine that's helping you tap into that abundance here. Which sounds really simple, but when you really do the assimilating of it, applying it to your life, it can have a much richer experience than just, okay, I thought about it in an abstract way. But to really like, hey, maybe you have a whole bookshelf of books that you just have not read yet. This is a good time to tap into that abundance. Or look at the things you already have. Like you have some projects, creative projects, or you have the ability to give healing sessions to people who really need it. And they, ways to give of self that you don't think, well, maybe I don't have a lot, but you have so much already. And it's saying, notice those things. Notice, be in that place of abundance, okay? And understand that abundance is infinitely renewing when you're tapped into spirit, okay? That creative force. Many of us are disconnected from that creative second chakra, the sacral chakra energy. That's where all of our creativity comes from, our ability to connect with others, our ability to create money, our ability to create relationships with another. That's true abundance. That's a true currency of abundance, okay? So look into those areas. That's for Kimberly. All right, and then this last one here is for Charlotte. The sacrifice. We talked about this, I think someone had this card last week. Hold on, before I do that, I want to see somebody wrote a comment. Yes. Oh, you're welcome, Kimberly. I'm happy to be here for you. The sacrifice. Sacrifice means to make sacred. Okay, so I have to say that this energy around sacrificing or feeling drained, it's like this the mother energy, the mother wound. There's something there. Like, think about the sacred mother, the sacred earth mother. She's infinitely abundant, right? And so in giving of that abundance is to make sacred, right? But we, in our culture, think of sacrifice as like something that drains us. We're making a huge sacrifice for whatever story we have. The sacrifice is an offering of gratitude made from the heart, a feast of love prepared for spirit. In olden days, sacrifices sometimes involved rituals in which blood was offered to the gods. And I don't know why I'm thinking of this. There's the, they're kind of, I don't know what the right word, mummies, maybe, of those child sacrifices from the Andes Mountains. They were like preserved in snow, like snow on the snow caps. They froze, and then they were perfectly preserved for like thousands of years. And from what I read on this article, I'm trying to remember if I can't remember the specific name they gave the girl, but it was like a 13-year-old girl and like 2 other children, like a younger 8-year-old and maybe younger than that, a boy. But anyways, the practice of sacrificing children, which thank God we don't do anymore, hopefully in many cultures that we are aware of. But the families who did give their child for this sacrifice felt that it was a huge honor, because like to like cry about it, to feel sadness or grief. No, they felt like immensely honored that their child was chosen to be this sacrifice. Now in our culture, we're like, whoa, that's insane. But to them, it was like the highest level of reverence for spirit, okay? And it elevated their family to give their child, to be someone who sacrificed their child to the gods. So, for example, in the Bible, Yahweh preferred Abel's sacrifice of one of his lambs to Cain's offering of vegetables and fruits. So when you give the thing that is most precious, that makes it sacred. Like, you're giving something that's no big deal. It didn't harm you. It wasn't, what's the right word? It wasn't as deep of a significance for you to give of it, okay? So in Middle America, however, Quetzalcoatl, the Lord of the Dawn, came to teach that spirit preferred our songs and our prayers to the blood of humans or animals. So it depends on what you value, right? Maybe songs and prayer are just as valuable. Okay, so the invitation, the sacrifice asks that you offer to spirit that which is most precious to you. Your offering will be sanctified and returned tenfold. You will be elevated to the altar at which you have been praying and meet the divine at the table with the heavenly feast. You are a welcome guest in this banquet. Your heart is the only worthy offering you can bring. Life has been generous with you in so many ways. That was for Charlotte. And this concludes this week's card reading and energy update. Thank you guys for being with me. I know the energy head's like kind of intense. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And if you feel that you don't have the energy to take care of the other, start with yourself first so that you can take care of the other. And then just remember, this too will pass. And you can make up for anything that you did not accomplish this week. So lots of love to you guys. Just be aware, this coming Wednesday, the 3rd, I will be releasing another interview with Brenda J. King. She's a clinical psychologist. That's for my Discovering the Empowered Self, a Healing Journey from Early Childhood Trauma. That interview will be coming out, like I said, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on my Facebook business page. please join me there, where I will be going live with Brenda, so we can sort of highlight the things that were in our interview, and I'll share the link to the interview and make it public on YouTube. So please join us, and if you feel so inclined, please donate to childsafe.org. I think it's childsafe-sa.org. ChildSafe is a victim advocacy group for abused and neglected children here in Bexar County. You can go to my business page and see all the links to where you can donate directly to them. And also, I have a fundraiser on my personal page. You can donate there as well. I'm trying to raise $200. I'm at, I think, like $88. Please give $2 something. Maybe you can buy a Matchbox car for a little boy who's getting counseling. You know, you just saw his parents kill each other. The poor kid. You know, true stories. So anything counts. Anything counts. Just the thought that counts. So, and even if you don't want to watch the stuff, if it's not resonating with you, I would appreciate a share to anybody you think might need this information. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for participating and watching and supporting. And in the meantime, thanks for being here with me, and I'm going to bounce out. This week ahead's going to be kind of crazy. So just remember to take care of each other. Love you. Bye for now.